Today is March 22nd, 2026. We're having a Israeli Palestinian Confederation simulation. Peace in Israel and Palestine will bring peace between Israel and Iran. Peace between Israel and Palestine will bring peace between Israel and Lebanon. Peace between Israel and Palestine, or in Israel, Palestine, will bring peace between Israel and Syria. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the violence there that is going over 100 years, is a human creation. It's not a natural disaster. It's not an earthquake. It's not a thunderstorm. It was created by human, and it is the responsibility of human, just like you and I and many others, to resolve this conflict. If human created it, then human can resolve it. A federal government in Israel, Palestine could resolve and make peace in Israel, Palestine. We are the Israeli Palestinian Confederation, and we are proposing peace by way of creating a federal government in Israel, Palestine. You can see our website at ipconfederation.org, and you can read our Constitution. If you go to ipconfederation.org, you'll see that we are proposing a federal government. We are not proposing the dismantlement of the Israeli or the Palestinian government, but we are proposing a federal government for the people of Israel and Palestine, independent and separate from the Israeli and the Palestinian government. A government that would be common to the people of Israel and Palestine, including the area, 15.5 million people in the area that includes Gaza, the West Bank, and Israel. Regardless of religion, one federal government elected by the people of Israel and Palestine together, with legislative body. You can see all of this in the Constitution. A legislative body, 300 members in the parliament representing 300 districts, an executive body with a president and vice president, one Palestinian and one Israeli, and a judicial body, Palestinians and Israelis together as equal. You can send me an email to josephavasar@gmail.com. We're having a simulation today with Dr. Hussein Aldeek. Dr. Hussein Aldeek is a Palestinian researcher, academic, and expert in international relations with a focus on human rights and political affairs. He holds a master's degree in human rights from Birzeit University and a PhD in international relations from Victoria University, and has developed extensive expertise in global politics, international law, and conflict studies. In addition to his academic work, he is actively engaged in research, advocacy, and public discourse on Palestinian rights, international justice, and self-determination, bringing together scholarly analysis and political engagement from Palestinians and global South perspective. Dr. Aldeek also works with the Youth President Foundation in Palestine, a civil society organization founded in 2014 that focuses on empowering Palestinian youth, promoting democratic values, human rights, citizenship, gender equality, and culture of dialogue and civil peace, while preparing young people for leadership and encouraging international cultural exchange. He currently lives in Jerusalem, where he continues his academic research and public engagement. On April 12th, we will have Elijah Kallenberg and Jad Hashem from Adina International, one of Jewish background, the other of Palestinian background. They created a Tinda International for the purpose of promoting peace with Palestinians and Israelis in campus colleges. On April 26th, we will have an IPC strategy meeting. We will discuss how we can move forward to implement an election in Israel-Palestine. Actually, having an election in Israel-Palestine, we will discuss that. On May 10, we will have Rafi Gassel, who is an Israeli-American biotechnology expert and peace activist, and he also resides in Jerusalem. We are demonstrating how a federal government could make peace, how it could thread the needle. That means that how it could pass legislation that would be acceptable to both the people of Palestine and Israel and their governments, but more importantly, how they will not be able to reject the federal government and will have to accept its legislation, because otherwise they will lose legitimacy. We are encouraging to ask questions. Nasir is the administrator of the questions. You can put the questions in the chat, or you can outright ask the questions. Nasir will translate your comments into questions, or if you just want to ask questions, we encourage questions in this simulation. This is a simulation. We are simulating what's in this video, which takes about 2 minutes.
The conflict between Israelis and Palestinians has endured for generations. And instead of time healing the wounds, it's only caused the anger to fester and the violence to grow. But what if there was a way to alleviate the tension? Something that may not outright solve every problem, but at least create a forum that encourages a peaceful compromise. Welcome to the Israeli Palestinian Confederation, a common third government between the Israeli and Palestinian citizens, specifically designed to foster peace, tolerance, and economic prosperity between the two nations. Here's how it works. First off, both Israel and Palestine will keep their respective governments. Israel's Knesset and the Palestinian National Authority will remain unchanged. The Israeli Palestinian Confederation, IPC, will be a third entity acting as a unifying agent between the two. The IPC will comprise 300 parliament members elected from 300 districts in Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza. Above them will preside a president and vice president, one Israeli and one Palestinian. In order for the IPC to pass a law, it will require a 55% majority from its Israeli representatives, as well as a 55% majority from its Palestinian representatives, thereby preventing either side from monopolizing the legislature. Of course, the IPC won't undermine the political power of either the Israeli or the Palestinian government. At any time, Israel or Palestine may veto a law passed by the IPC. If neither side vetoes, the law is passed. And the two nations are another step closer to resolution. Please help us make this a reality. The Israeli Palestinian Confederation. We might speak different languages, but we all mean the same thing.
So I would like to conduct a pre-simulation survey. Please vote. Do you support a common confederation government for the people of Israel and Palestine? If you support, vote yes. If you do not support, vote no. If you do not know what it is, also vote no, because you cannot support something that you don't know what it is. Please vote.
How has this changed attitudes within Israel? I think what it's doing is really...
Okay, 5 more seconds to vote.
Hey, Joseph,
Please publish the votes.
Joseph, read my messages when you get a chance.
On the chat.
Yeah, I sent you a message.
Okay, 92% voted yes, and 8%, which is 1%, voted no. So let me read the comments in the chat.
We survived. And he was saying, you have to understand when you see this, our case, how can you not see that we're right when this happens? And I think that is the sense that many Israelis.
I don't see I see the chat, but I don't see your comments.
You don't see the private messages?
Oh, okay, sorry. Oh. Hussein said 1 hour from now.
Yeah, but I told him we started already. So he said, okay, good, which I think means I'm coming, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I wonder why he thought 1 hour from now.
did we take into consideration the time change in Jerusalem didn't change yet?
Well, Zoom gives you
Okay.
the local the time wherever you are. So okay. Well,
Okay. I'm gonna yeah, I just texted him again and I said, we started. So he said, okay, good. So
okay. Some people ask us, are you a confederation or a federation? We do not live by definitions.
he's here. Sorry. Okay, good.
We do not live by definitions. We expand definitions, and our definition is whatever in the Constitution, ipconfederation.org. This is the heart of the simulation. We are asking you to make assumptions, and from this point on, we are going to assume that these simulations have been achieved, and we are a federal government elected by the people of Palestine and Israel together. We want you to assume that $100 million was obtained to spend to create an election platform in Israel, Palestine. And believe me, it is possible to create an election platform in Israel, Palestine, because I am actually meeting now with several election companies in Europe and the United States, and we are talking about how to create this platform and what features it will have. But it is possible to create a secure election platform for the people of Palestine and Israel, so they can register to run, and they can also register to vote, and they will have 1 year to register and 3 months to vote. So I want you to assume that we were able to spend $100 million not only to create the election platform, but also to notify and advertise this election for the people of Palestine and Israel together. There are 15.5 million people in the area of Israel, the West Bank, and Gaza. About 40 or 45% are children. They're not allowed to vote. But all of the people in Israel, Palestine will be given the right to vote. So we want you to assume that we just concluded the election, that 5 million people have voted, that 3 million Palestinians voted, and 2 million Israelis voted. We want you to assume for this simulation that the president received 2 million votes. Please assume that me, Joseph, was elected president, and the Palestinian lady received 2 million votes, and she is elected a vice president, and we will rotate in 2 years. I will become vice president, and she will become president. So that it's clear, I never intend to run for president. I'm not even qualified under the Constitution because I do not reside in Israel or Palestine. But I want you to assume, for the purpose of this simulation, that the election has taken place, and I was elected. I also want you to assume that 300 parliament members were elected in 300 districts. Each district has approximately 52,000 people. Some districts will be Palestinian population, some districts will be Israeli population, and many districts will have both Palestinians and Israeli population. And this is the area we are talking about. And I am asking you at this time to become either Israeli or Palestinian parliament member in this simulation. And from this point on, we will act as if we are the elected parliament members in Israel, Palestine, and I will act as if I was elected president, and we will discuss this simulation as if the election has been completed and the federal government has been elected. I will also ask two of you to act as Prime Minister of Israel and one to act as President of Palestine. If you are volunteering to act in one of those two capacities, you cannot be in the parliament as well. This is a separate government. So at this time, for those of you who choose to be parliament members, either Israeli or Palestinian, please make your choice, whether you are Palestinian parliament members or an Israeli parliament member. Please make your choice. This is a simulation. We are pretending that we have been elected, and from this point on, we will continue this simulation, pretending that we are the government elected by the people of Palestine and Israel. I'm giving you 15 more seconds to vote, whether you are an Israeli parliament members or a Palestinian parliament members. Please make your choice. It's not going to bite you. We don't really know who made the choice, so don't worry about that. Just try to help us promote this simulation and to make it as realistic as possible under the circumstances. Okay, publish the vote. We have 11 Palestinian parliament members, and we have 4 Israeli parliament members in this simulation. So from now on, you just need to remember what is your district, what area do you represent? Is your district a mixed district? Is it strictly Israeli, strictly Palestinian? And just for your convenience, I'll show you the map again to help you decide what area do you represent. Now, do we have 2 people who are willing to act as either President of Palestine or Prime Minister of Israel? Do we have 2 people? If not, I'm just going to call your name and ask you to act in that capacity. Anna, are you willing to be in one of those capacities? Either Israeli or Palestinian leader? Anna
Yes.
Factor?
I don't think I have enough experience. I don't understand the situation well enough.
Okay. What about Maysar? Maysar, are you willing to act as either Israeli or Palestinian parliament member? President? Maysar al-Samadi.
Oh, I don't think, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't think I can do that because I might not stay the whole period here.
Okay.
After
Asim,
I-
are you willing to be either Prime Minister of Israel or President of Palestine? Asim. Asim?
Yeah, not at this time. Thank you very much.
Okay. What is the fear in this? Austin, Austin, are you willing to be either the president of Palestine or the prime minister of Israel? Austin, Jeff, are you willing to be either the prime minister of Israel or
I may be, but I have a question, Yosef. So is it under current conditions that this exists, or
yes,
some other
yes,
set of,
yes,
so the occupation still exists?
yes. We were just finished the election and we were just elected. We are a
I
new
see.
government and you are
Yes, and so let's say, for example, I was the Palestinian president. The people who are living in the West Bank who are Israeli citizens under the and settlers, are they under my jurisdiction or are they under Israeli jurisdiction?
they're under the Israeli jurisdiction.
So even though they're in my territory, they're under Israeli
Correct.
jurisdiction.
Correct. That's the current situation. Yes.
And so the is the laws of military rule still in play?
Yes.
Yeah. So everything's in play,
Yes.
but I have a country, but I don't have.
You
Uh,
don't even have a country.
I'm a president,
You are the president,
but I don't. I'm a president of what?
the president of Palestine.
The Palestinian Authority. That's it.
I'm a
You're a
president
president
of the
of an
Palestinian
authority
Authority.
that basically has how should I say rule over an authority over certain parts of the West Bank. Area A.
Which I don't have rule over
Yeah,
because there's military rule.
yeah. That's
But I'm
and not just that,
okay.
but you're assuming the role of the current prime minister or the current president. So this is not if Jeff Newman was
No, no,
elected.
I
Uh,
understand. That's why I'm trying to understand
yeah,
the parameters.
that's
And
the parameter.
I'm also president over Gaza, right?
That's what you think. Yeah, that's what you believe. Yes.
Yes, I mean this is the role. Well, yes, I'm happy to simulate the role of
Okay. Thank
the
you.
president of the West Bank and Gaza.
Okay. And let's go to um, Libby. Libby, are you willing to be the prime minister of Israel?
Of Israel or Palestine?
Israel.
Am
We
I-
have a president of Palestine.
oh God, I'm terrible at doing it because
Yeah, the last time you were you uh Louisa McDonald, are you willing to be the president of the prime minister of Israel?
No, I'm too ignorant of the entire situation. I'm here to learn. So thank you for not asking me to do that.
Okay. Michael States, are you willing to be the prime minister of Israel in this simulation?
How about Nasir?
Well, Nasir has been acting in that capacity many times. We need something.
okay, I'll do it, Joseph. I'll be Netanyahu, right?
Okay, yes.
Can
All
I
right.
be mean and nasty?
Well, you have to. That's
How else could you do it?
Okay, I'll do my best. I'll do it.
It's
okay.
intoxicating. I don't know, like power and hate and stuff. It was like
I
it's kind of like
know.
the
All
dark
right.
side of the force.
Okay.
I'll try to be true to what I think he would represent.
Yeah. But you also have to be realistic and politically realistic.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we established that we have parliament. So Jeff and Libby, you are not part of our parliament. You are in a separate government. You are not allowed to vote. You are given a veto power, but you are not allowed to vote. Okay. So now that we have the election, we have the parliament, we have a president, we need to ratify the Constitution. Libby, would you be so kind as to read the Constitution?
Okay, and by the way, you have one less Palestinian person voting because I am no longer
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay.
So here's the Constitution. Palestinians and Israelis are entitled to equal rights and under the law and guaranteed human rights and freedom. The Israeli Palestinian Confederation does not intend to supersede or supplant the Palestinian or Israeli governments, nor to abrogate or undermine any agreements between those governments. We recognize the need to work with the Israeli and Palestinian governments. Our purpose is to resolve conflicts and to expand the relationship between Palestinians and Israelis in a fair and equitable manner. We believe in equal rights under the law, guaranteed human rights, and freedom for all. We voluntarily give the legislatures and the governments of Israel and Palestine veto power over legislation we pass relating to the domain of control of those governments. We believe in the separation of power between the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. We believe in the creation of a permanent secular government for all the people residing in Israel and Palestine. We believe in having a separate judicial branch relating to IPC legislation with Israeli and Palestinian judges with a system to avoid biased decisions based on nationality.
All right, so this constitution is a short version of the long constitution that we have on our website. By the way, the constitution on the website is constantly being refined. We have done almost 150 simulations. So the simulations have given us tremendous amount of information and experience. And through the simulations, we were able to refine the Constitution. So what you have on the website is the most current Constitution. And I encourage you to read it. This Constitution basically says we are the legitimate government of the whole area of Israel, Palestine, because we have given the entire area the right to vote, regardless of their religion or ethnicity or any other difference. We do not intend to undermine or overthrow or do any harm to the Israeli or the Palestinian governments. We intend to work with those governments. And in fact, we're giving them a veto power over legislation that violates their sovereignty. Before I go to Hussein and ask his reaction to the Constitution, does anyone have any questions regarding this Constitution?
I actually have a question.
Yes.
You say that the Constitution doesn't violate the sovereignty of either entity. And yet here I am as the president of the Palestinians. What is my sovereignty? I have an occupation. I have what is how is my sovereignty defined in the beginning? Is it the same as Israeli sovereignty?
We do not define your sovereignty.
So who defines my sovereignty?
We define your sovereignty based on whether you can prevent us from implementing our legislation. That's how we define your sovereignty.
Okay.
We do not define your sovereignty. It's your job to define your own sovereignty, and so is the Israeli government's job to define their sovereignty. We are the legitimate government of Israel, Palestine. We see your government as an illegitimate government. We see the Israeli government as an illegitimate government, but we have no choice but to work with you.
I understand that. I appreciate that. So I'm illegitimate and in the same light, the Israeli government's illegitimate. Okay, thank you.
Correct. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing no questions, let's go to Hussein Aldeek. Dr. Aldeek, do you have any comments or questions regarding the Constitution? while we are preparing for Dr. Aldeek's comments, let's ratify the Constitution. Palestinian parliament members, please ratify the Constitution. You must ratify the Constitution because when you ran, you accepted the Constitution. If you do not accept the Constitution, you will be expelled from the parliament, and the person who received the second number of votes in your district will be a parliament member. Okay, publish the vote. 83% ratified the Constitution. One person did not. That person is expelled from the parliament, and he or she will not be allowed to vote. And the person who received the second number of votes in his or her district, it becomes the parliament member of that district. Let's go to the Israeli parliament members. Please ratify the Constitution. Israeli parliament members, publish the votes. 100% of the Israeli parliament members voted in favor of this, to ratify the Constitution. Hussein Aldeek, Dr. Hussein Aldeek, do you have any comments or questions regarding this Constitution?
No, for me, I didn't have any comment or a question, but I support this Constitution. But maybe if we need to anything to support this, we can make the Bill of the Right, like the Bill of the Right in America. It's the Bill of the Right has a lot of rights of the people in this land, not different between Jewish and Christian and Muslim. Maybe it's paper or the Bill of the Right can support the Constitution because the Muslims or Christian or Jewish maybe has any rights. It's different. It's personal life. Maybe it's the Bill of the Rights can support the Constitution.
So we actually have Bill of Rights. We have a preamble to the Constitution, and it is similar to Bill of Rights. If you read the preamble to the Constitution, I'm going to our Constitution, and if you go to the Constitution, and by the way, it's in 3 languages. The preamble says, the people of Israel. This is similar to Bill of Rights. We may be able to add to it if you tell me what needs to be added. If you can go to the Constitution and read the preamble, we have included the preamble as part of the Constitution. So just to let you know. But do you have any questions regarding the Constitution itself?
No, it's good for me.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we ratified the Constitution. Congratulations. This is a momentous occasion in the history of humanity. We have never had a Constitution ratified, a secular Constitution in the area of Israel and Palestine. Never in the history. Let me go back to the Constitution. I want to ask Dr. Aldeek. One of the things the Constitution, Dr. Aldeek, is the separation between government and religion. This area has 3 religions that we know of that are very common or very profound. Jewish, Christian, and Muslim. Do you see any difficulty for the people of Israel and Palestine in accepting a constitution that separates government from religion?
Maybe the solution for this different is the secular constitution. the secular constitution, it's the solution for this difference between Jewish and Muslim and Christian. We need one law, one constitution, one rights for all. The secular, it's the good point to give the all the rights equal. For me, it's good. And a lot of people in Palestinian society, after a lot of conflict, concentration of the ethnics or religious, going now to the secular. Why to the secular? Because the secular, it's equal right for all. No different between any religious in this land.
But you say for you it's good. You are a very educated person. You have a PhD. The question is, do you think that for people that are not as educated as you are, who practice their religion on a regular basis and believe in their religion, will they be willing to accept a secular constitution?
For me, I think it's the secular constitution, it's the better, because a lot of people in Palestinian society whom live in West Bank and Gaza Strip, and whom live in the other country, in Europe, in United States, America, and Arab country, support the secular. A lot of leaders in Palestine, when making to create a Palestinian state, it's secular state, not religious state.
And is that has been accepted by the Palestinian society as secular state?
No problem for the Palestinian society, because a lot of Palestinians who live in the Palestinian society in these days, what happened when are making a new country for religious in the Middle East? A lot of conflict, a lot of violence, a lot of damage. What is the solution? Go to the secular constitution and the secular future to make a good country and a good society whom accept the other and create a new future for our generation.
Thank you. So yeah, I agree with you. So we just passed a secular constitution that separates between government and religion. We do not prohibit, of course, the practice of religion, but the government itself is prohibited from advancing religion, while the religion itself could exist and flourish if necessary. This has never been done in the history of Israel-Palestine. It gives us huge political power because we have passed the Constitution and we have done the election. So congratulations. This is a momentous occasion in the history of humanity. Let's go to our first legislation, and that's granting a veto power to the separate governments. Libby, would you be so kind as to read this legislation?
The Confederation is the government of the entire population of Israel and Palestine from the river to the sea. We recognize the Palestinian and Israeli governments and are seeking their cooperation to implement our vision for peace by giving them a veto. We will do our utmost to satisfy the essential needs of each government. We are pleading with the Palestinian and Israeli public to understand that while we would like to pass the best legislation possible to improve their lives, under these constraints, a perfect legislation is not possible. We hereby bestow a veto power relating to legislation affecting sovereignty to the following: the government of Israel on issues in which it is indispensable, the Palestinian government on issues in which it is indispensable. In the event of changes in the entirety of the Israeli or Palestinian governments, this legislation may be amended or repealed, subject to the IPC Constitution. The Parliament will decide on indispensability. Vetoes may be bestowed individually or collectively.
So in a way, this answers the president of Palestine's question. What is his sovereignty? We define sovereignty in terms of dispensable or indispensable, meaning that if your government can prevent us from passing legislation, then it is indispensable. If it doesn't prevent us, we can implement the legislation whether or not you veto, then it is dispensable. So
I
if
have
we
I
have,
have a question, if I might.
sure.
Okay. So I see indispensable as far as use of land. But you said earlier that I don't have a legitimate government, but now apparently I do have a legitimate government because under the Constitution and the prior statements that were read, there's recognition of my government. Yes?
We recognize your government. We do not recognize the legitimacy.
Okay. So I'm recognized as an illegitimate government. Okay, got it. So with regard to use of land where it's indispensable, the land in my sovereign country or sovereign entity, yes, it's indispensable for use of land. The Israeli government, the illegitimate Israeli government have use of my land.
Again, those two governments are illegitimate governments.
Yes, I
The
understand.
so
But
whether you get a veto power is dependent on the specific legislation we pass.
Oh, I see. So I have to wait and see what the
You
use of
have to wait
Okay.
until.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
So why do we give a veto power to you and to the Israeli Prime Minister? Because it provides a safety net to both your people and the Palestinian people, and it increases the likelihood of the Israeli and Palestinian population and politicians and governments' participation. It decreases your government and the Israeli government's opposition to our federal government and removes any claim that we are a subversive intent, that we have subversive intentions, and it gives legal protection to our candidates so that they cannot be called as betraying their government or anything of that nature. It compels us to pass legislation that would be least objectionable to the Israeli and the Palestinian government. So this is why we give a veto power. Does anyone have any questions before we go to Dr. Hussein Aldeek regarding the veto power? Okay. Before we go to Hussein Aldeek, let's have a vote, and then we'll ask Hussein what's his opinion about this legislation. So, Palestinian parliament members, please vote on this legislation. Do you accept this legislation? Are you voting yes? And by the way, the Israeli and the Palestinian governments do not have a veto power over this veto power legislation. Okay, publish the vote. 100% of the Israeli parliament members voted yes. Let's go to the Palestinian parliament members. Remember, we are pretending to be parliament members that have been elected. Palestinian parliament, Israeli parliament members, I'm sorry. Go to Israeli parliament member. Jeff, can you? Okay, Dan, can you change it to Israeli Parliament? Yes, Israeli Parliament members, please vote. Okay. We need 55% of the Israeli Parliament members to agree to this legislation, publish the vote. 67% voted yes. So that means this legislation has passed. Dr. Hussein Aldeek, do you have any questions or comments regarding this legislation that gives a veto power to the Israeli and the Palestinian government?
I read all in this, but I don't have any comment or question because I support that. But I prepare the paper for to work plan. How will it start? If we have a lot of time, I can presentation my plan to start to work, and not enough which communication with the other online. If we want to pass, we need to work on the ground in
Yeah,
Israel
well,
and West Bank.
that's subject to the discussion we have afterwards. But regarding this veto power, you have no comments.
No comment. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We're just demonstrating. We are now a federal government in process. We are in process because we are elected. Okay. Our first substantive legislation has to do with what's going on right now, a major escalation of war. We are 3 weeks of war between Israel and Iran. We are in almost 3 years of war between Israel and the Palestinians, major war, and we are in constant war with them. So, as the president, I propose this legislation. Libby, would you be so kind as to read this legislation?
We, the elected members of Parliament of the Confederation Government of Israel, Palestine, affirm our responsibility to serve the people of this land with integrity, accountability, and an unwavering commitment to peace. For more than a century, the peoples of Israel, Palestine, and the broader Middle East have endured recurring cycles of war, violence, and instability. From Iran to Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and beyond, generations have suffered from the failure of governments and political actors to secure lasting peace. We believe that a new path is necessary. Accordingly, we are taking the initiative to safeguard all people living in Israel, Palestine, and to advance a vision of regional stability that can extend across the Middle East. Peace for our peoples cannot remain an aspiration. It must become a deliberate and organized effort. To this end, we will establish official parliamentary delegations to engage directly with the authorities of Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iran. The purpose of these delegations is to open channels of dialogue, promote mutual de-escalation, and work toward binding commitments to cease violence and threats among all parties. Our role will be to advocate firmly for an immediate cessation of hostilities and incitement, mutual recognition of the right of all peoples in the region to live in security and dignity, structured negotiations aimed at achieving durable and verifiable peace. We will serve as an impartial facilitator and promoter of peace, guided by fairness, objectivity, and the protection of our people. Where governments or entities endanger regional stability or threaten civilian life, we will speak clearly and responsibly. Our commitment is to peace, security, and a future in which the peoples of this region can finally live without fear. And this is pursuant to Article 2, Section 21 of the IPC Constitution. Neither the Israeli nor the Palestinian government holds veto authority over this act.
Okay, so I think this is very applicable to what's going on literally as we speak. We are the people of Palestine and Israel. I am the president of the whole area. My goal is to protect my people. My people are the 15.5 million people in the area of Gaza, the West Bank, and in Israel. You are the parliament members representing your district, and people in your district are being bombarded on a regular basis. They have sirens day in and day out, and it's your responsibility, just as mine, to work for your districts, and I work for the whole nation. We want to establish an official parliamentary delegation to engage directly, because our government failed to do so, with the authorities of Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and Iran. This is what this legislation is about. The purpose of our delegation is to open channels of dialogue to understand what's going on in this conflict and how we can resolve it, and to promote mutual de-escalation, immediate de-escalation, and work towards binding commitment to cease violence and threats among all parties. Does anyone have any questions regarding this legislation before we vote and before we go to Dr. Aldeek? Any questions? Okay, let's vote on this legislation. Palestinian parliament members, please vote. Palestinian parliament members, please vote on this legislation. Okay, publish the votes. I see one person voted no of the Palestinian parliament members. Could that person please identify who you are? Okay, so that you know, our government, it supports full transparency. Parliament members will not be able to vote anonymously. We are full transparency government. Everyone knows what everyone else is doing. This is part of our way to make sure that there is trust, that we build trust by way of transparency. Let's go to the Israeli parliament members. Please vote, Israeli parliament members. And note that the Israeli and the Palestinian governments are not given a veto power over this legislation because they cannot prevent us from doing what we need to do for our people, and we can do it regardless of whether or not they agree or not. Israeli parliament members, please vote. Publish the vote. Okay, 100% of the Israeli parliament members. Last time we had more votes, but I don't know what happened to that person. Let's go to...
Can I ask a question?
Yes, hi.
Hi. For the last vote, the Israeli voted only 67%. It was, and there was not, we don't know why, and who is the people who vote against the idea of the last vote.
On the veto power?
The last vote before this one.
Yeah, that was the veto power.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't know. We didn't ask because we want to go forward. But like I said, in the real parliament, we will have full transparency. Parliament members will not be able to vote anonymously. The reason I asked here is because I know that both Palestinians and Israelis are being bombarded by this in the West Bank in this current and in Gaza. So I was just wondering because I wanted to know who is the person who voted no and what districts he or she represents. All right.
Joseph, look at the chat. Apparently, Nancy Pickering is trying to talk, but for some reason we don't hear her. She has a question.
Nancy, you're muted, so you need to unmute if you want to speak. Yeah, you need to. There should be at the bottom. If you go to the bottom left side, there's a microphone.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. My question was, I'm a representative, and I don't think I understood that map when you showed it to me because I didn't realize we were talking about representation in Lebanon and Syria. I was only looking at the West Bank. I felt
are you a Palestinian parliament member?
Yeah, but there's no representation here in Lebanon or Syria. This is a bill in regards to initiating peace talks with these countries, not have representation. They are not part of the Confederation.
Well, I'll just have to live with. I don't quite understand it, but I'll just have to live with it.
Okay, are you a Palestinian parliament member?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I looked at the map, but you guys are talking about we're trying to reach out and to make peace with it in Lebanon and in Syria.
Right.
So I thought then I have to I'm supposed to represent one of those areas.
No, you're not. Okay, so we are the government of Israel Palestine. Okay, and sorry, let me go back to the map. We are the government of Israel Palestine. This is the whole area.
So I should look really in that green area of West Bank, right?
Well, yeah, you are a parliament member in the West Bank. Okay.
Yeah,
your district is in the West Bank, but this whole area is under the federal government. This whole area, excluding Lebanon and Syria. But since Israel Palestine is in constant war with Lebanon, with Syria, with Iran, with Yemen, I am the president of this whole area. I want my people to live in peace. So I am asking you, the parliament members, to allow to create a delegation to have the people, to our parliament members, discuss peace with the government of Israel, the government of Lebanon, with Hezbollah, with the government of Syria and the government of Iran and the government of Yemen. Okay?
I understand it. Right now, you haven't asked us what part of the West Bank in the, you haven't mapped out different districts. You don't know which district any of us represent yet, right? If we're representatives.
I don't know, but you can tell me, what do you represent West Bank? What city in the West Bank do you represent?
Well, I probably everybody else wanted it too, but I was going to say Bethlehem or Jericho.
Okay, so let's assume that you are representing 52,000 people in Jericho. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. So I understand your other explanation about Lebanon and so forth. I got it.
All right, thank you.
And I live in Haifa. How many people I represent?
52,000 people in Haifa.
Thank you.
Each district has 52,000 people. Okay? So, so this legislation passed this parliament, and we are not giving a veto power to the Israeli or the Palestinian government simply because they cannot prevent us from implementing this legislation. Let's go to Dr. Hussein Aldeek. What is your comments regarding this legislation?
Maybe I don't have no comment, but I support a good relation between the government, federation or confederation, with the other country and the neighborhood in this area between Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Iraq, Yemen, Egyptian, Jordanian, for all. Because need in this area to live in peace and stability and stop this violence exchanging. A lot of years since 1948, and before that, we are in a conflict and war and damage.
Let me ask you, Hussein, you live in Jerusalem. Were you bombed recently by the missiles coming from Iran in Jerusalem?
Yes, a lot of rocket coming daily.
Okay.
In Jerusalem and maybe in Bethlehem and in Hebron. I think you all remember for the three women from Beit Hawa near Hebron was killed from Iran rocket since 3 days. The three women, Palestinian women in the home will die because this is a record. That's enough. We all the people in the West Bank need to live in peace and stability and stop this violence exchanging.
Yes. Let me ask the parliament member from Haifa, Mr. Parliament member from Haifa, Uriel. Was Haifa bombed recently?
Yes, a lot, day and night without stop.
Okay, so let me ask, go back to Dr. Aldeek. Do you think we have a better chance of making peace as the parliament member, Palestinians and Israelis together, making peace with Iran, Lebanon, Yemen, and Syria than the Israeli or the Palestinian governments by themselves?
Yes, I think maybe in the future we can make peace because in these days and in the last years, the relation between this land and Israeli, it's conflict and war. But what is the return for the people? A lot of damage, a lot of poverty, a lot of killed, a lot of died. Now, all the people looking for a new future. What is the future? Future is development, a good country, a peace life, and create a new future to live in peace and stability. The war didn't come to this country and these people. Anything is good, all this bad. But what is the other chance? What is the difference? All the people want to go to a new future. This future is development and stability and good life, and stop the hysterical with conflict and war in this area.
Thank you. All right, let's go to our next legislation, and that is future governance of Gaza. On this legislation, the Israeli and the Palestinian government have a veto power. Libby, would you be so kind as to read this legislation?
All right. The Gaza region, with a population of 2,226,044 million people, is it 2 billion?
No.
I should have corrected this, but just assume 2.3 million people.
All right. Elected 44 members to parliament. And so legislation 1, The destinies of the Israeli and Palestinian peoples are inseparably linked. The Israeli Palestinian Confederation provides a democratic vision for stability, prosperity, and peace. The IPC declares an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. We are demanding the Israeli and Palestinian governments to abide by the ceasefire agreements. The IPC shall launch a national reconstruction campaign to rebuild homes, roads, hospitals, civic institutions, and critical infrastructure, enabling the prompt return of displaced residents of Gaza to their communities. The IPC proclaims the restoration of law, order, and the civil society as a national priority, recognizing that peace is impossible without justice and social stability.
Just 1 second. Let me turn the page. Okay.
The IPC shall retain authority over the Gaza Strip until a new, freely and fairly elected Palestinian government assumes power in Gaza in accordance with democratic principles. The Palestinian Authority and Hamas shall agree to hold elections within a year for the creation of a Palestinian government. All legislative, executive, and judicial decisions related to Gaza shall be enacted by the IPC government pursuant to the IPC Constitution, in cooperation with the government of the United States, all Arab states in the region, and the government of Israel and Palestine. The IPC calls upon the international community, including the governments of Israel and Palestine, to provide a $50 billion grant to fund this urgent reconstruction and reconciliation effort. And this is pursuant to Article 2, Section 21 of the IPC Constitution. And the Israeli and the Palestinian governments are granted veto power over this act.
So, so we are the parliament being asked to, we have 44 members of parliament from Gaza, and we are seeking legislation to declare that we are the government of the whole area, including Gaza, which we are. We don't need a legislation for that, but we are declaring that we will be the exclusive government of Gaza until a election for a democratic election will take place in Palestine, at which point we will continue to be the government of Gaza with the Palestinian government, who will have veto power over us. So does anyone have any questions regarding this legislation?
I have a question.
Yes.
Under this legislation, who controls the armed forces that are in my territory that are Israeli soldiers?
Where is your territory?
So I am the president of Palestine.
So
my territory is the West Bank and Gaza.
The legislation doesn't talk about the armed forces.
But my question is, regardless of the legislation, who controls the armed forces on the ground?
Right now, there are several armed forces.
No, but my specific question, sir, is as you're president of all of the Palestine, Israel, as the Palestinian president, my question is, who controls the Israeli forces on the ground in Gaza?
The Prime Minister of Israel controls the armed forces of Israel, and Hamas controls the armed forces of Hamas.
Yes, I'd like to get.
We are calling for a ceasefire.
Yes, I understand the ceasefire, but there's the occupation of the Israeli army is in my territory, and I'm
Correct.
just asking
whether
whether you control as the president of the Confederation, or whether the illegitimate Israeli government, as you see it, illegitimate, controls those forces. Yes, that's my question.
Yes, the two illegitimate entities have have military control over Gaza. We are asking them to cease fire, and we are conditioning our participation and granting $50 billion grant to them if they accept our legitimacy in the area of Gaza and continue with their ceasefire.
So just
If
to
they
be
do not, if you are the prime minister, you're
yes,
Palestine, you're the
President
president of Palestine. Do you agree with this?
Well, my question is, do
Are
I
you
have
going
the
to veto this legislation?
well, I mean, this is what my question is, because I don't know whether I'll veto it. It depends on what it means, ceasefire. Does ceasefire mean that the occupying forces of the Israeli army continue to have jurisdiction and a military basis over half of the territory within Gaza? Because this
No,
is not,
we are the only one having
you're the only one having jurisdiction.
Yes,
So you can ask them to leave.
correct.
Okay, it doesn't say this. It says ceasefire.
Correct. It doesn't say that
If it says
because
this, then I'm okay with this. But if it doesn't say this, I don't know, where it is. Is it
okay,
ceasefire with occupation
so
or
that's
ceasefire
fair.
without occupation?
That's fair. So you are vetoing this legislation.
No, I'm as it stands, I would veto it.
Yes. So you want us to amend this
Yes,
legislation
that's my request.
to say what? That provided that this
That the
government will demand the Israeli government to withdraw from Gaza.
No, not demanding that they do it, but saying that it needs to be incorporated because you're in control over the whole area. Yes, you're a legitimate government.
Right.
As a legitimate government, I'm requesting within your legislation, which you're writing, I can only veto it. I don't want to veto it. I would like to see it an incorporation that the Israeli forces leave.
Okay. So what paragraph do you want us to amend?
Under the one that says ceasefire.
Go back
to
to the
extend,
previous page. The previous
yes, thank
page.
you.
There we go.
That
So it's
immediate
going.
unconditional ceasefire, that abide by ceasefire agreements, and further, that the Israeli armed forces vacate
So number
Gaza.
two. So number
Yeah, number
two.
two. Yeah.
Number two. Can you add a second sentence and then the second sentence? Hold on, where'd it go? Whoa. So after the second, number two, the second sentence. Go back. One more.
Yes, the second
Number
sentence
two.
would
So
be in
second
it.
sentence. So
Yeah.
the IPC declares an immediate and
Yeah,
unconditional ceasefire and a complete withdrawal of Israeli soldiers and troops from the Gaza Strip.
Yes.
Okay, now we have to make it acceptable to Israel too. So
Oh, understood. Absolutely understood.
So if we say immediate,
No, I wouldn't say immediate. It's immediate and unconditional ceasefire, and then it's a period. And the second sentence of that, the third sentence, I guess, would be in addition, that prior to the reconstruction campaign, Israeli forces will be withdrawn from Gaza. Now, as far as like the timetable of this is something that needs to be worked out so that the Israeli government, the illegitimate Israeli government, just like I'm an illegitimate government, can bring their troops back and talk to their people and do all these things that they're comfortable. But it's not comfortable for me as president of the Palestinian entity to allow for the Israeli troops to remain in Gaza.
I would say this ambiguous time frame is also not acceptable because prior to the construction campaign, this also leaves like, will the construction campaign happen after a year, 2 years, 5 years?
agree, but it's your legislation.
Yeah, I know.
No, I hear you. I'm with you.
At
I
least
appreciate.
I
Well,
just appreciate you bringing
we
up.
have to allow for some vagueness.
Yeah, I know, but vagueness is the enemy of everything that's just, because vagueness is what got us into this situation as it is. We've been vague
Right.
for the last 30, 40 years, and vagueness is what
No,
has led us. I mean, vagueness
So,
brought about for us from 240,000
well,
settlers to 750,000 settlers
it says
today. So
prior to the construction
so if
campaign.
I
We
might,
want
if we talk to the Israeli government and ask them what their time frame is to get their troops out of my territory, maybe we could like see if they're
okay.
agreeable to
Let's go to
immediately
the
get them out.
Israeli
That would be
Prime
ideal.
Minister now. Let's go to the Israeli Prime Minister.
All right, that's me.
you have to
Yes.
be mean.
No, that's Libby.
No, mean.
Mean, MEAN.
Okay.
All
right.
No, I cannot approve of this legislation. We're still dealing with Hamas. We have our sights on Gaza. We know that there's to suddenly pull out and turn all this over to a new government that to a new group of people that think they're the government is not taking in the reality of the needs of the Israeli people. And we have work to do yet. And this $50 billion, million dollars, $50 billion, that's a huge amount of money. And we need to talk about how our contribution to that and how that would work. Way too vague, and we can't afford to give up this kind of control to an outside group or to a new group of people without taking into consideration the needs of the Israeli people, who right now are suffering from a lot of anti-Semitism and threats about our own future. So this feels very vague and not supportive of the needs of the state of Israel in any way.
Mrs. Prime Minister, what are your plans for Gaza?
Well, right now we have to get rid of Hamas. I mean, we're still dealing that in spite of the ceasefire, we're still dealing with Hamas on a daily basis. So that's
so
not
your plans is more wars with Gaza?
our plan is to work until we get rid of the threats to the Israeli society by Hamas and their supporters. And so
there are American troops in Kiryat Gat, about 20 miles from Gaza. What is the purpose that you allowed these American troops to be in Kiryat Gat? For what purpose?
To provide support and backup for the Israeli people.
In Gaza or in general?
In general, but also in Gaza. We have been talking to the United States about a future of Gaza that could be very attractive and very productive to this part of the world.
All right. Okay. So it's clear that you have an intention to allow international troops into Gaza. Do you expect those international troops to be fighting with the Israeli armed forces, to be fighting Hamas together with the Israeli armed forces?
Well, of course, our intention is not to bring in more fighting, but is to bring in support and backup from our allies and people who support the needs and the security of the Israeli people.
Okay. So would it be acceptable to you if we will be the legitimate government and we will ask the international forces to provide the military security in Gaza to make sure that there is no violence between Gaza and Israel. Would that be acceptable to you?
I think it would take a lot of negotiation to understand how that would really work, because I'm not sure outside forces coming in are going to be beneficial to the Israeli people in the long run.
Okay, so you will be open to negotiating with us to implement or to allow or to create conditions for international troops to come in, because apparently you agree to them. They are in your country right now.
We would be open to sitting down and talking further about what you are suggesting.
Okay.
We
All right,
want
let's
our
go.
people to be safe and secure, but it depends on at what cost and at what sacrifice we have to make that happen.
Okay, look, let's go to Dr. Aldeek and see what his opinion regarding. Well, I'm sorry. Did we vote on this? I don't.
Not yet.
Okay, let's have the Palestinian parliament members please vote on this legislation. Palestinian parliament members. Okay, publish the vote. 83%. One person voted no. Could you please identify who you are, the person who voted no? Okay, let's go to the Israeli parliament members. Please vote, Israeli parliament members. Okay, 100% of the Israeli parliament published the vote, voted yes. Okay, let's go to Dr. Aldeek and ask your opinion regarding what you've just seen discussing when we discussed Gaza.
Firstly, I want to comment for the number of population. The Gaza region with population of 2,226. It's not exactly. Today, the people who live in Gaza under 2 million. The second, who can vote, the people who have 18 years who can vote. Not all the people who live in Gaza will voting or in West Bank or in Israel. We need to change the number who can voting. It's a good point.
I looked up the Palestinian Census Bureau, and that's the number that they put, 2,226,444 people.
Okay, who can vote? The under 18 years old? No.
No, there are 44 districts in Gaza. The votes would be for those that are over 18 years old, but it doesn't change the number of parliament members, 44 parliament members in Gaza.
Okay. Not the number of member of parliament, but the number of population who can vote, not the all.
The number of population that can vote is 222,226, 44 minus the minors. In Gaza, there is a high level of young people. So, but why is it important for you to know how many people can vote in Gaza?
Yes, it's not all. It's not in Gaza just, but in West Bank and in Israel. Not all will going to the voting in the election,
Correct.
who has 18 years old.
Correct. You were not here during the when we created the assumptions. Under the assumptions, 3 million Palestinians voted and 2 million Israeli voted. And 300 parliament members were elected. These are the assumptions that I discussed with you when we met privately.
Okay, no problem. I want, Mr. Joseph, I want to speak for my plan. I
Okay.
write a plan to start.
We're going to end soon. So I just want to ask you if you have comments regarding this legislation.
No, it's good.
Okay. All right.
My
Let's
voting
go.
is yes.
Okay. Let's have the a ending survey after participating in the simulation. Do you support a common federal government for the people of Israel and Palestine? Last time we had 92% voted yes. I mean, before the simulation, okay, published a vote. This time, 100% voted yes. I don't know if we're convinced that one person who voted no. So I will go to closing remarks, and then we'll go to Dr. Hussein Aldeek in a open session. A common democratic confederation can bring peace by way of secular democratic government for the entire people of Israel and Palestine. We are, the people of Israel and Palestine deserve peace. They do not deserve to be ignored and being taken for granted that they are born to live with each other as enemies. Online election is feasible. Like I said, I met with several online companies, and they assured me that it is feasible to hold the election securely. In fact, now I'm negotiating with two companies to see if they can actually, if we can choose one. $100 million is not a lot of money for creating the federal government. Is Alan here? Alan Haber? Because we received a grant from the Esri Institute, Esri company, which is a major company, mapping company with 7,000 employees all over the world. We received not a grant, but a special status as a nonprofit organization to use their one of their programs to create the districts in 300 districts in Israel, Palestine. They actually create districts in other parts of the world, including in the United States. It's a major company with very, very sophisticated operation. They've been doing this now for over, I think, 50 years, and they're very respected worldwide. So they have 7,000 employees, including all over the world, including Jordan and Lebanon, I believe. I don't think they have an office in Israel. All right, let's stop sharing and go to open discussion, and I'm going to turn it over to Nasir to conduct the discussion.
So this is the part where we're going to do questions and answers, but also Dr. Hussein also wants to speak about his organization and what his efforts are doing. So let's first hand it over to him. And please raise your hand, and your questions can be in regards to what we had discussed earlier, as well as to Dr. Hussein. So go ahead, Dr. Hussein.
Okay, thank you very much, Nasir. The Israeli Palestinian Confederation Committee, it's a good thing, but we need to start. We need to organizational work. That's it to start for me. I put a plan. This plan has a lot of points. We must move from theoretical discussion to practical application. The idea of the organization is very wonderful and important but working its achieve it requires a lot of effort, time, resources, and political will from the members of the group. Based on my experience working with the civil society organization and join the Palestinian and Palestinian Israeli political initiatives and the obstacles we might face in our work and field operation among different segments of society. It's important to do some basic things before starting this work. First, I want to discuss the legal and institutional foundation in Israel and the West Bank. In initiatives or movement of the ground must have formal legal framework registered with official Israeli or Palestinian institutions. The Palestinian Israeli Federation is a non-profit, non-government organization registered in the United States. It's is this yes? Okay. Therefore, we must first register the Palestinian Israel Federation as a non-profit organization in Israel, making it a branch of parent organization, the part of organization. After that, we must open office for the organization in Jerusalem and engage with the Palestinian and Israeli public, explain to organization vision, goals and objectives. Secondly, we must work on mobilizing financial support and providing financial resources for this campaign. Here, I believe that after starting the work and implementing the activities, we can obtain financial support from a number of international organizations, the support of peace, especially European organizations, or even any person, famous political or economic. Thirdly, for me, engaging with key sectors of Palestinian and Israeli society, particularly the young generation, university students, and non-government organizations. Finally, discussion may be the head of the official government bodies on the both sides. For forming working groups, perhaps 3 groups, one in the West Bank, one in Gaza Strip, and one in Israeli. This group from an executive council to develop future operation plans, and executive council meet monthly to evaluate progress and implement activities and plans. On the field sides, perhaps the best approach would be work according to actual electrical experience by dividing electrical district according to the official division in the Palestinian territories. The West Bank and Gaza Strip, we have 16 electrical districts. Each electrical district would have, according to oversee all matters related to the election and voting. On another front, coordination could be undertaken with telecommunication companies to obtain the mobile phone numbers of all users in Israel and Palestinian and communication with them. This would involve introducing in the concept of Palestinians, Israeli Confederation its vision and objectives and explaining the mechanism for voting, candidacy, and election. And in Israel, same mechanism used for parliamentary election in the Knesset is employed. Any other suggestion anyone can deem operate can be added. However, this is a parliamentary plan that can be developed further in the future. That's it.
Thank you. Also, I want to remind that Dr. Hussein is also involved in an initiative called the Youth President Forum that works on promoting.
I want to speak about for my organization, Youth President Forum.
Yes.
One minute.
Sure.
We
Go
have.
ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. In 2014, I established the non-government, non-profit organization, work with the youth to development the skills of the youth in Palestinian society in the West Bank and East Jerusalem, working to the youth to send the development, the culture of peace, tolerance, reconciliation, and accept the other. A lot of youth of Palestinian in this year, I saw working, it's not good work. And going to violence party as Hamas, etc. We need to change the culture of Palestinian youth, going to development, studying in the university, becoming doctor, teacher, engineering, press, journalism, etc. But in these days, we have a lot of a problem for a donation. But we are working, not a huge organization, but a small organization we are, and work in the cities in the West Bank. And we have a good relation with the other organization, non-profit organization in the Arab country, like Jordanian and Egyptian. Thank you, Nasir.
Thank you, Dr. Hussein. So at this time, does anybody have any questions in regards to him or?
Joseph, I want to ask to certain the Palestinian Israeli Confederation. It is NGOs in the United States and have certificate.
Yes. Non-profit, not NGO, isn't it? It'd be considered a
non-profit organization.
Yeah, it's a non-profit organization. Yes.
Great. No. If we can make a part of this in Jerusalem, because if we can working, we need a lot of things when dealing with the security in Jerusalem or security in West Bank.
Well, our goal is to have an election. That's our goal.
Yes.
To elect 300 parliament members and to have them decide what issues need to take place and how to pass legislation. So what you enumerated are excellent goals. We see it that the parliament members that are elected, that have legitimacy and the responsibility, the legitimacy given to them by the people of Palestine and Israel, and the responsibility to implement policies. That's our goal. Our goal is to create the election, and we want to create the election. I am speaking with election companies, and we're going to have a meeting on that. We have, we're going to have a Zoom meeting but on that in I believe in April 26th, and I'll give you updates on the discussion. But I can tell you right now, there are two major election companies that are very significant, that are working on giving us a bid on how to do the election, how long it will take, and how much it will cost. The anticipation is that it will actually, one company already gave us a bid. We're looking for the other company to do that. But the anticipation is that it will take them 3 months to construct the platform, 3 months, and then we will have a year to register. People in Israel and Palestine will be able to register to vote and also register to run as parliament members and running for president and vice president. And then we will have, after that year, so we're talking 3 months of setting up the platform, a year to register, and then 3 months to vote. So that's the anticipation. The question is, can we pull that, and how many people will register? So,
but to answer his question specifically, as of now, there is no presence in Jerusalem, like you don't have or Israel or in Palestine. You do not have a presence. So are you registered in that countries? Are you?
No, we're not
Okay.
registered in that country.
Okay. And there's no office or anything like that. Okay.
There is no office in there.
I think that was his specific question.
It's problematic to be registered in a Israeli NGO, sure, because they have their own requirements, and we don't really need an office there. We have many supporters there.
Okay.
And best to have a office here and a presence here and legal standing here.
Okay. Go ahead, Libby.
Joseph, sorry, I'm going to kind of challenge what you just said, because I think Hussein's idea about having an office there is a really great idea, because when we're doing it from here, we're not involved with the people, the grassroots. But if there was an office or a location that people over there, the Palestinians and the Israelis, could identify with and meet, there are so many grassroots groups. And there used to be functioning a group called ALMAP, the Alliance for Middle East Peace, that was comprised of many large and small groups of people working for peace in the Middle East over there. And for me, I think having boots on the ground, so to speak, yeah, or hearts on the ground is very important. It would be a place where people could connect and begin to meet together and begin to put meat on the bones of the jobs that need to take place there. Because living here and doing it here and being all spread out doesn't help congeal the power of the grassroots thinkers. And there are many groups. There used to be a ALMAP, Alliance for Middle East Peace, that was comprised of 100 large and small grassroots groups. Maybe they've disbanded because of the war, but I know that there are still very active groups there that if they could meet together and work together, they could begin to put meat on the bones and give appreciation for this idea and bring it to life. So I kind of think having an office there that people can relate to and meet in and work in and share ideas and encourage each other sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Libby, good ideas are a dime a dozen. The question is implementing the good ideas. It's not to have good ideas.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you need to tell me how is this being implemented? Because I get good ideas all the time. And my next question is, how do you get it implemented? I came to the conclusion that Israelis and Palestinians, it's very difficult for them to imagine a common government. Very difficult. It's easier to show them than to have them imagine it. Okay? So the path that I decided on is to do whatever is necessary to show them rather than inspire them. It's much easier to see reality than to imagine reality. Okay? So Americans in particular, they are easier to imagine. Okay, Israelis, the only thing they imagine is more wars, and Palestinians, more wars, more technique on how to defeat in the war. So to say, well, go ahead and open an office in Jerusalem, it is not only difficult, but in my opinion, it's going to be very difficult to maintain, both in terms of personnel and in terms of pay. The idea that we are advancing is to actually have them register to vote and register to run, and that hopefully will encourage more and more Palestinians to register and to run. And that's why we are allowing a year to register, a year to run. We have people in Israel and Palestine that support the idea, but they are not at the level of taking the initiative.
Marvat?
Here's the thing. In a way, I kind of agree with Libby on this, and I'll tell you, as someone who's been has ties to both the U.S. and Palestine as well. I've actually find the opposite. I've actually found that people on the ground in Palestine are actually more accommodating to something like this than the Palestinian community in the United States. I think the Palestinian community in the United States is a lot more opposed to any type of normalization of talks between Israelis and Palestinians. Where my relatives and
I agree with you on that.
my relatives, for example, I'm from a East Jerusalem neighborhood. There's much more interactions between Israelis and Palestinians day to day. When you go pay your arnuna, when you go to work, when you go to the pharmacy, when you go to the post office, when you pay there's much more interaction, and even that makes many Palestinians in the diaspora uncomfortable. Like they see it as like, oh, you're normalizing, if you're doing this. But that I think when it comes down to is that a lot of the people that we've had participated here are experts. There's some of them are lawyers and things, and I would want to maybe consult with some of the activists, the lawyers and stuff, and to see what are things that we could do within that would work within the parameters within inside Israel. And another thing is that there's also the issue of how Israeli authorities would treat such an institution or an office and things like that. You have to understand Israel is not the most friendly country in the world to people, especially foreigners that come and set up an office advocating for such a thing. And Palestinians could also face serious backlash. I mean, we're hearing about Palestinians, even those with Israeli citizenship, just for making comments, anything in solidarity with people, with Palestinians and stuff, how they're faced the backlash, that they're faced with criminal charges or even like fired from their jobs or things like that. So it sets up those kind of questions as well, Libby, which I think are more concerning for Palestinians, and which is the reason why many in the 48 areas are terrified right now to say anything because right now we have a government in Israel that would unleash horrors on them if they, said anything sympathetic. And this includes even children in schools that, if they say, I feel sorry for the children of Gaza. There was one in a school near Beersheba that 13-year-old girl was removed from school because she was harassed and beaten because she said, I feel sorry for the children of Gaza. That's all she said. She didn't say, I support Hamas and stuff. She said, I feel bad for those kids. It turned into the kids, bullying her and then the parents coming in to bully her. And eventually she had to be removed from the school. So these are many factors I think we also have to take into consideration. Jeff, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. I had a question, and I'm sure you wrestle with it's how you draw the maps for the representation of the voting that takes place for the Confederation within the West Bank. I'm not talking about Gaza at the moment, just within the West Bank, and within those 52,000 or so people, are those people inclusive of the Israeli settlers or exclusive of the settlers? And if it's exclusive of the settlers, who represents the settlers since they're living in the West Bank and not living in any place inside the green zone? Yeah.
Well,
So how does
here's the
that?
thing. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. When the lines are drawn, you have to
Yeah.
understand the Confederation is separate from the governments.
I
So
understand.
when the lines are drawn, you're going to have Palestinians that live in certain areas along with Israel. So there's going to be some district. So as much as Palestine and Israel is segregated, so even like for example, if you look at there's a plan that's produced by what's his name, Emmanuel Shahaf or Shahaf, I believe his name is, in
Yeah.
which he actually draws the borders um, of a federation model that he has. And in that federation model, I think he has about 22 cantons, what he calls them. So
Yes.
in those 22 cantons, you have maybe three or four of them that are actually mixed, where you have like a sort of a 50-50 population. I think, for example, Uriel's district might be, because he's in Haifa, he might have a little bit more of a mixed. But when you go to areas like, for example, like the Tel Aviv, or for
Yeah, but
example, if you
I'm not talking about, with
Yeah.
all due respect, I'm
Let me
talking
let me
about
answer
just the
let me answer
West,
your
just
question.
the West Bank.
But I
Yes.
was going to say settlers will fall into those areas along with Palestinians if they're there.
But settlers aren't in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I
Settlers aren't
understand, but
in Haifa.
if there's an area inside the West Bank that's under a jurisdiction, it's going to include all the people that live within there, whether they're settlers or Palestinian
And
citizens.
that's what I'm asking about. So if there's a majority settler canton in the West Bank, or if it's a minority, I mean, you understand my question, Joseph, and I know you do, Nasser, as well. So, Joseph, if you mind.
Yeah, sure. So there are about 52,000 people in each district.
Yes.
The districts treats everyone the same. I mean, the whole area of Israel, Palestine is the same,
Right.
regardless of who you are, your religion, whether you're a settler or you are a Palestinian or whatever. All
Right.
people will be given the right to vote.
That I get.
Yeah. Okay. So
I'm
then
wondering about
the
how the vote
question,
then gets split out when you have people who are
okay,
not necessarily agreeing with each other. Yeah.
the votes doesn't get split up. The the votes are for parliament members.
I
Okay.
understand. What I'm saying is it's 52,000 people that vote, and it's a mixed region. So
Right.
you have some settlers and you have some Palestinians in the West Bank, right?
Yeah.
So there could be
So we
a
actually,
settler representative that gets elected out of that
yeah.
district,
So
right?
let's say you have a mixed district. Palestinian can vote for an Israeli. Israeli can vote for a Palestinian. Your question is specifically how do you divide district by 52,000 when the area is very small and very congested?
No, it's very contested, is what I'm saying. Because there are people in the West Bank who are living there, who are Israeli settlers,
Right.
who are committing crimes against the people who are living there, who are
Correct.
Palestinians, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
each of them is going to have the vote, but they're
Correct.
not voting on the same basis of equality because they're not acting on the same basis of equality and they haven't experienced the same basis of equality. So I just, and I
So
understand kind of
so
the
to
construct
yeah.
and
So in order to run you have to accept the Constitution. You have to abandon your allegiance to any other government and to any other military institution. That's the first thing. You have to.
So that's the first checkpoint. That's what I
the
want to
first
understand.
checkpoint. The second checkpoint is you have to pledge allegiance to the IPC Constitution. Okay, you have to do these two things: abandon your allegiance to any other government or military institution, and you have to accept, swear allegiance to the accept the Constitution, and if you are elected, you have to swear allegiance to the Constitution. This is what it takes to run. As far as voting, you have to be 18 years old. It's all in the Constitution, by the
I
way.
understand. So the eligibility of who you're voting for is the key to getting this move so that that the people are treated equally because the representatives have pledged their allegiance to equality.
I didn't understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying that you have a threshold as far as who can run. They have to run on the basis of everybody being treated equally, and therefore that's a check against people running it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And you'll be surprised. There are many Israeli settlers who are supporting the Confederation.
I was going to actually say that, like, if you look at, for example, like a Land for All and the Federation Forum, and even a lot of these people who push toward a one-state solution, many of them are actually settlers, because the settlers that live in the West Bank are looking for a solution where they will be legalized and be able to continue to live in those areas. So they actually tend to be a lot more open to these kinds of solution than the people who live, for example, in Haifa or inside the 48 territories and things like that.
Correct. I actually met with them in November.
Yeah. But we use the word, the first checkpoint. You said checkpoint. We don't want to use that word. Check. No checkpoints, okay?
I meant it in with regard to check and balance, but I take your point absolutely, and I thank you for educating me. Thank you so much.
No problem. Go ahead. Sean, I think, had his hand and he lowered it. Sean, did you?
Well, I just wanted to make it quick. You noticed in our meeting, and every time when we elect the prime minister and the president of Palestine, you noticed that every time we implement a new law, and most of the time the Palestinian is going to say yes to this law that we imposed. I want to say imposed, but and then you have the Israeli side are not agreeing to this new legislation, and you notice the pattern here, like we're seeing it in the stimulation that you have the Israeli that are not you're having a little hard time with the Israeli side that are who are whenever we put a legislation, we have to try to go around this legislation just for them to accept this legislation, And lately with them, nothing has changed. Like I have seen that with war going on, with protests going on, and Israelis staying the same, having that mindset of Zionism and having that impunity. And it just feels like no matter internally or externally or any exterior forces will make them change what they are right now. It's like I don't know, like, and even with this thing you're mentioning about having an office there, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, because so far the mindset of Israeli are not into that. So I don't know any other ways.
Here's the thing. We have these discussions as well, and I think that I appreciate Dr. Hussein's contributions today, because I think he literally brought something that I think I've been trying to push here as an authentic Palestinian voice, that the idea of a cooperation that, say, for example, a confederation or federation, I think this idea is very open in Palestinian society. But, however, there's something I think, and I think he stresses this a lot when I spoke to him before, and he said it today, is that even though the idea is more acceptable to, I think it would be way more acceptable to Palestinians. I think Palestinians would be by far, majority of them would accept the thing. However, for Palestinians, the important factor is not just the concept of confederation, because I can argue that right now we have a confederation. We have a one-state solution right now. The one-state solution that we have right now is the occupation where Palestinians live under occupation. However, what I think Dr. Hussein said very eloquently was that with a confederation plan has to come changes, and I'm sorry, Dr. Hussein, if I'm speaking for you, but that with the realization of a plan toward confederation or any type of solution where there's cooperation, reality on the ground has to change, and Palestinians have to see that and feel that change. Because we can sit here and talk about theories of freedom and theories of peace and everything, but if the day-to-day life of Palestinians who goes to work from Bethlehem to Hebron and it doesn't take him 2-3 hours, and his city is not surrounded by iron gates and freedom of movement and being mass arrested and settlers being attacked, without all those being addressed, no confederation, no federation, nothing will do good. You can come to me with the best plan in the world, but if I do not see the day-to-day life of people being harassed and unable to go to work and freedom and all this other stuff, and I think this is the part, Dr. Hussein, am I wrong, or is this where you're coming at?
The end of the day, Israel has the upper hand.
Yes. Dr. Hussein, I'm sorry, did I?
No, I listened to you. You want to need to speak anything?
Yeah. Did you think my assessment about what your concern was, that this is because it seemed a very authentic Palestinian concern, is that fine and dandy, but if we don't see changes on the ground, this is the important part that we feel is more important to us.
Yes, this important point for me. If we can, if the people who live in the West Bank didn't see any change on the ground, no have motivation for support. This is vision to solution the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. I think I feel daily the problem of the Palestinian people, the youth, the women, the girls, the families. It's a conflict and a complex situation. It's very bad. No work, no money, no salary. A lot of 200,000 workers from West Bank can go to the work in Israeli since 7th of October 2023. This is the big problem. A lot of employees in the Palestinian National Authority didn't have the salary, no money. The economic situation in the West Bank, it's very bad. Today, when we are going to speak for the Confederation and the Parliament and the election, a lot of people, what is this? What about you are speaking about what? What is the future? What about our future for the Palestinian family? What is the relation with the Israeli government, with the Israeli people? For that, concentration. We need to be on the ground. We need address. We need address in this land, in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, in Ramallah. It's not important, but we need address and ideal. We are non-government, non-profit organization. We are working for these goals, for these aims. And we have address in Jerusalem or in Tel Aviv, etc. And we have permit from Israeli government and Palestinian government. Without it, we will fail, not pass. I am going daily between the Palestinian cities and in the Palestinian society and have a lot of friends in Jerusalem from Jewish and Christian in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv and Petah Tikva, etc. If we want to speak for a new thing, we need address and we need permit. Without it, we can't pass. We will fail. This is my thing.
And what if they don't give you a permit?
Permit from the Israeli government. We need a non-profit organization, non-government in Israel or in West Bank.
I'm asking what
without it we can't work.
I'm asking you, what if they ask you what is your purpose? And you submit the purpose to say you want to create a federal government in Israel, Palestine, and they read it and they say, well, that's not acceptable. We will not give you a permit. Then what do we do then?
Yes, it's no problem. When ask our purpose or aims, we write to the, in general, we support peace, we live in the tolerance and support, accept the other, and a good dialogue between Israeli and Palestinian. That's it, the aims and object. We are speak for NGOs, non-profit, non-organization, non-government. After it, we can make the main ideas and goals and continue. But we need the ground, underground, a good ground to stand for it.
And what do you do if they ask you, what do you mean by Israeli Palestinian Confederation? If they want clarification?
Not a problem. We'll
because we went through that with the American government when we applied in 2006, and those questions were asked. They were asked. We had to answer those questions.
Yes, we will answer.
And
for the details.
So, will you be willing to undertake that project to register the Israeli Palestinian Confederation as an NGO in either Israel or Palestine?
Yes.
Okay, well.
Firstly, just in Jerusalem, in Israel, not important in West Bank. Maybe later, but firstly, we need address and we need permit to start to work.
No, I agree with you. We need people on the ground. There is no question about it. That's one of the issues that came up in my discussion with the election, because they said we can do the election. The question is how successful it would be, and they said exactly what you said, that we need people on the ground to support this.
Yes.
To be just like you said, to have the address. So that's a good start. I mean, yeah, I'm encouraged by what you're saying. If we can get your cooperation, your help, that would be tremendous. In fact, we're going to have another meeting, and I hope you come on April 12th. With Elijah Kallenberg and Jad Hashem. One is Jewish, one is Palestinian. They're of Palestinian descent. And I think, and we also have with Rafi Gassel, who lives in Jerusalem. And we need to move forward to create what you said, maybe an office or maybe an address in Jerusalem to move forward with this. I agree. We need to have support on the ground.
Okay. Do we have any other questions?
One more question. So basically, If Palestinians are not seeing anything on the ground, they're not going to move forward with any plans.
Sean, you don't ask questions. You just being
I'm just
skeptical.
asking. I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm asking, so if the Palestinians don't see anything on the ground, they're not going to follow any plan, if I'm getting this right.
Well, how, are you making a statement or are you asking a question?
I'm asking a question. I'm asking if Palestinians don't see anything on the ground, and no matter what you tell them, they're not going to agree with it because they want to see changes on the ground before they can take ideas. Is that true or not?
Would actual voting or would actual people running, would that constitute things that they actually see, or is that not something that they would?
I think what they want is before voting, before election, anything. I think they want to see changes on the ground. They want people to stop. They want to stop settlers. They want to stop the occupation, and this is what they want to see first.
I know, but we cannot remove settlers. Okay, we don't have military force.
Mm-hmm.
You have to see what it is that we can do, and that is to have an election. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think
My
they see any
question
of
to
that.
you is if they see an election and they can open their phone and see, oh, okay, I live in district number 57. I have so many parliament people running for parliament, and I have a person running for president. Is that would is that going to have any effect on them, or are you saying they're going to be completely ambivalent to that?
Well, pretty much ambivalent because I think they're not seeing anything changing. Like whatever they do, anyway, on the ground. This
Okay,
is what I believe.
so let me ask Dr. Aldeek. Hussein, Sean said they want to see things on the ground before they vote. That's my impression. And
I would agree with that as well.
okay, so the question to you, Hussein, is: let's say we open an office and we do have the election, and people do see that they have an option to vote. Would that be enough for them to vote, or do they want to see some physical changes in their lives before they agree to vote?
Maybe the two. Maybe a lot of people going to vote. Maybe another people we will wait to see another to change for support and vote. A lot of people, the Palestinian society, it's different, and the Israeli society is different. Not a lot of Israeli, not all we are going to vote, and not all people will reject that. The Palestinian, the same as, not all going to vote or reject. Maybe a part going to vote, and maybe a part will reject. The same in Israel.
So answer my question. Do you think Palestinians or Israelis will vote without seeing any changes? Will they vote for their parliament members, for their president? And when I say will, I mean, well, Palestinians or Israelis, what percentage of Palestinians or Israelis do you think will vote if they see an option to vote for a federal government, for parliament and president?
Maybe will that support and encourage to voting? In Palestinian, I think maybe 16%, 60%, maybe
60%?
70. Yes, maybe 70. But in Israel, at least more than maybe 40% or 35.
Okay, but Sean said they are not going to vote unless they see a change in the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. And my question to you is, if we have no way to make a change in the ground, our vision is that the federal government will make the change. My question to you is, let's say the vote takes place today, okay? And the Palestinians are suffering under occupation right now. And they are given a chance to vote for their parliament members, Palestinian, and for president, a Palestinian. Will they vote even if there was no change in the ground?
Yes, for me, I think the Israeli military solution did not bring peace to Israel. And the armed struggle did not bring peace for the Palestinians. Now we must go to the other way. The option of peace, reconciliation, and coexistence may be the one federation, Palestinian and Israeli, can make a change. A lot of people in Israeli and in Palestinian society think to the other change, to the other chance. What is the other chance? Maybe that's encourage and support a lot of people going to elect for this is process.
Okay. Let's go to Libby.
Perhaps the change on the ground is actually having an office. And the office, you've talked about preparing to vote and taking a year to do that, to find the candidates, to have the candidates run, to get to know who's going to represent you in your community. So perhaps this office is a campaign office, and it's a place where the people running for office can come together, find the rules and regulations, find their supporters, and as a way, usually a person running for office has their own campaign office. But in this case, maybe we view it a little differently. It's where all the people who know about this, who are interested in change, who view the possibility of a different kind of government, a new government that represents all the people, there are a lot, as I said before, there are a lot of people who are already engaged in the bringing about the changes we're talking about. The Combatants for Peace and Roots and all these different groups who work at a grassroots level. If there's a campaign office where they can come and throw in their support and build the grassroots, that's what's going to be needed to make a campaign successful. The more these people who are already engaging and have a new place to work together to spread the fire, maybe that's the whole point of an office, a center for the 1 year to build the troops for running for election. So I just think throwing it open to bringing together those who are already interested in working towards a government that works for everybody, this could be the change that starts right now. And so I don't know, I think we have to be creative and think outside the box and not get stuck in thinking the process it has to be the same.
Now that I think about it, instead of having an office, maybe we need a person. Because people really, we need someone to motivate, to have the address could be the person. And Hussein, you may be that person. You may be that person that in Israel, Palestine, that carried that flag of an election, of a vote, of maybe you could be that person.
With a partner, an Israeli partner.
Yeah, an Israeli, Rafi. Yeah. Okay. If we don't have any more questions, let's close it up. We are here at an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your questions and participation.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Dr. Hussein, for your participation as well and
And
contributions.
thank you, Joseph, for
Okay,
your
thank you.
idea.
Thank you very
and,
much.
Thank
for
you.
the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye bye.